Seen the recent craze of videos with the bait package. So
Mark Rober's bait packages.
This isn't specifically like a named one. This is just, I think, a collection of people maybe copycatting this.
Okay.
Where you have a Amazon package on your front door, and you have a camera over it, and someone grabs it.
Oh, yes, I have seen that.
And I don't know, some of them seem to be proximity based, and others are,
some sort of mechanized sensor.
Yeah, and then it's poof.
Yeah,
you get the blue powder all over you, or
yeah,
it is.
and like fart spray and like glitter.
Glitter.
I have seen it. Yeah.
I don't know that the blue one that's making the rounds right now is real. I think that's AI generated.
Oh, you think so?
There's something uncanny about that to me.
Well,
I don't believe it.
Well, then this feeds into my point, because of the 20 or so videos I've seen, almost all of them are running to a Tesla.
I wonder if that's a social commentary on behalf of the person that made it, or if that's just a function of the prompt.
Maybe, but yeah.
I definitely have wondered of the authenticity of them, because I don't know, like the person steals the package, it blows up, and then it's almost like a dramatic.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they argue back with the person that blew it up. And like if that happened
They're
to me,
yelling at the Ring camera or something.
Yeah, or something, I would run. I just get out as quickly as possible, because who knows what's next? Who knows what the thing's going to do? I wonder about the authenticity of some of that.
Yeah. And if it's not AI generated, at least it's staged.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Have you seen the bait bicycle?
Yes, where like the thing pokes up out of the seat.
So they put the seat on a piece of rebar with a spring, and as soon as people sit down, now they're getting goosed with a piece of steel.
There's like a bar version of that, which is I think it's more of a joke, where a guy sits down on the bar stool, and then the bar stool sinks. And then they get up kind of sheepishly, and then of course the metal pole is there, and they kind of walk away with tight ass.
That's awful. There's one other one I've seen where somebody tied a rope to a bicycle and then left it in a questionable neighborhood, and as soon as somebody hopped on the bike and started going, it reached tension and then sent
the old
them flying
like dog on the leash thing.
A little bit, but instead of dog on a leash, you get a bike thief over doing somersaults.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be a pretty, significant fall.
It might kill somebody. I don't know.
I wonder about the legality, but also the algorithm knows I enjoy this.
But think about the views.
Right.
So
Exactly,
good.
yeah.
I did 10 years, but I got 25 million views.
Yeah, 25 million likes.
You are listening to The Soapbox. I'm Paul.
And I'm Eric.
This all started out with a list. What's that all about?
So I've compiled a list over the years of things that just bother me, things that grind my gears. And I shared that list with you.
And I thought, you know what? That would make interesting conversation. Sometimes I'm going to want to agree with you, and it's just going to be something we talk about. Other times, though, I'm going to want to steel man the opposite position, because I think that's just interesting conversation.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I'm always right, but Paul's just a really good debater.
Hey. So we said we weren't going to start the episode of so anymore.
I knew what you were doing. I saw it.
So there is a thing called the millennial pause. Are you familiar with this?
I am.
I
just watched it happen.
Apparently, if you are a millennial or older, when you start a video, you pause. Then you begin talking, and Gen Alpha or Gen Z or whoever, the ones that are skibbity toilet riz, no cap for it all on God.
Yeah.
Those people think that what we do is weird. They think that's a bizarre way to start a video.
With a pause.
With a pause. Apparently it's not necessary any longer, because technology has become so trustworthy. When it tells you it's recording, you just begin.
Yeah. There's no delay anymore.
Yeah.
And that to me, I think is a decent sort of segue into what we're here to talk about today. But before we get into that, Smiley is back.
Yes.
By popular demand.
That's right.
And by popular demand, we really just mean we wanted you back.
That's fair. I'll take that.
I needed some speaker stands for my PAs. I'm running sound, air quotes, for the soccer banquet tonight. and I looked in the basement. I didn't have any speaker stands. In fact, Horse, another popular guest of ours, that has them. And instead of driving to Georgetown, I said, "Hey, Smiley, what are you doing tomorrow?"
It got me.
Can we abuse and use your friendship?
Yeah. But it's like, can I inconvenience you by doing this? But at the same time, we can do this really cool thing and come on up. I was like, well, that's actually,
See?
We
it
need
worked.
you
Totally worked.
to be our promotions department for all the folks that have turned us down to be on the podcast. That, hey, this is a cool thing. You want to be a part of it.
People have turned you down.
Yes.
How many people? And what are the reasons they turn you down?
Well, a lot of people, it sort of feels like me in high school and prom, but I don't want to go into it.
Sure. I'm familiar with that.
I've had a couple that are like, I'm not really comfortable on the mic.
Okay.
Probably 1 in 5 is just a hard no.
Yeah.
Huh.
Probably another 1 in 5 is hesitant, but could potentially do it. And, then we've got our enthusiastic folks, and we've
Sure.
got folks that they could take it or leave it, somewhere in the middle there.
We had one guest agreed to come on, and then we got told by our boss not to have him on. 'Cause it's a little too high profile for what we do.
Yeah. I don't want to say we're a big deal.
I know you're not going to tell me who that person is right now while we're recording, but I am very curious.
It was Donald Trump. No.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. He said it's the best podcast
greatest
he's ever heard.
podcast.
Now, wait, don't you have a relationship, friendship tie to Lee Todd?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I spoke to him the other day.
Well, if you could get Lee Todd on the podcast, I
mean-
think he's welcome.
I would never guarantee it, but there is certainly a non-zero chance that would happen.
All right. Well, Lee, we know you listen already.
He's
so
probably
this is your
listening
formal
right now.
invitation.
Does he go on vacation with his family or something like that?
Yeah. His son and I have been friends for a very long time. And actually, I didn't go to UK. I knew virtually nothing about UK. I just knew my buddy. His name is Troy. So my buddy Troy, and we would go and we'd go to eat dinner sometimes, and we'd have a couple drinks at Marika's, and we just know. And it was probably a couple of years before I knew who his dad was. And I found out, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. You don't see that every day. And
Those indirect connections are a lot of fun.
yeah. And to his credit, he could very easily have been like, well, you know who my dad is. I didn't know who his dad is for years. I mean, it was probably 2 years afterwards.
I think that's the mark of a solid guy there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, but a couple different times they've invited me to go to. I've been on vacations with the family a couple times. We went to a couple of basketball tournaments, and I'm not really a big basketball fan, but it was an opportunity. I was like, well, this is cool. So
Apparently, it's very popular here.
I guess it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we went to Atlanta, stayed with them, and
Catlanta, as we call it.
I'm sorry,
in this part
Catlanta.
of the
Yes, I
country.
always do that. And Troy's sister is married, so they would go as kind of the family thing. And Troy at the time was not dating anybody and not married, so I was kind of his plus one. So I got to go along on a lot of different sort of a vacation here and there, and
So what I'm
NCAA
hearing you
tournament
say
trip.
is you've done Jello shots with Lee Todd.
Oh, lots and lots. Yes,
Nice.
he does. He's known for his Jello shot.
I was gonna say between that and his ping pong into the Red Solo Cup game, I think.
He is. I've never played pool with him, but he is evidently a fantastic pool player. I have heard.
Okay.
They've got a big table in the basement, and I know he plays quite a bit. And I know when he was at the university, I know he would go to the student center. I just heard this, what my friend tells me. I was never there, but he would routinely go and play pool with whoever was kind of standing around. But I think he beat most of the people there, so
That is awesome.
they didn't like to play with him.
That pool table that used to be in the basement of the Cat's Den single-handedly dropped my undergraduate GPA by at least one good point.
I would go play there a lot. I remember that was the old student center. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like weren't they like arcade games and.
They had a projector playing ESPN on regular rotation. Okay. They had some laptops you could check out and a pool table in the middle. There weren't arcade games when I was there. But
Yeah, I never went to school here, or very much at all, really. But so I'm not familiar with any. But I just stories I've heard, things I have heard.
yeah.
Wow.
So we began with the millennial pause.
Wait, was that a rabbit trail or a rabbit?
Okay, we're gonna do this.
Don't start with me.
We're gonna do this. Smiley, listen, I like you, buddy, but you've ruined our whole format.
I mean, I told you guys before, I am a listener. I do enjoy, so I have appreciated after a couple of little random shout outs here and there. And I love the chaos, honestly, that I have caused. I appreciate it.
You've also indirectly invented Rabbit Vortex, so we can sidestep the whole issue.
I like that even better.
So there it is. Millennial pause. And that is something that just sort of shows the vestiges that occur in the minds of people. But that's really what we were wanting to talk about today was ChatGPT calls it linguistic fossilization. I would say vestigial language is how I would have described it. But things that are old, that stick around in language past their actual practical use or application.
Yes.
And you had a couple of examples. Let's dive right in on that.
Yes. What were my examples again? One was a tape. Like I taped something the other day.
Yeah.
Which is of course obsolete. Nobody tapes anything anymore. These days, you record and you.
Or by extension of that, then I guess the film industry. Because none of that's on film anymore.
You don't film anything anymore. I guess some of the quirky directors will use film as kind of a gimmick, but nobody really films anything anymore.
Could we also say then, if we're just staying in that domain for a second, photograph?
I guess
a photograph
that's true.
is like an actual process with paper and film.
Yeah, you don't develop film anymore. It's already sort of there. I guess I don't know. What do? You
take a digital picture?
Yeah, image. They call it images these days.
The tape too reminds me of two of mine. One is footage. If you have footage of something,
that's how many feet?
It's literally was measured in feet, right?
So I didn't even think about that.
But now we use the term footage to just mean
just a piece of video or something.
And I guess rewind the tape isn't really
rewind in general because you're winding a tape on a spool.
Yeah.
And now it's just scrubbing digitally backwards or forwards through the timeline.
Right.
Well, but if you're like watching, I don't know, a game or something, you can rewind, but you're not winding anything.
Yeah.
But the process is still the same in that you're going backwards, but you don't say I'm going backwards I'm digitally going backwards.
Yes.
Digitally reversing to rewatch this touchdown play.
We should probably put some context here too. We're roughly the same age, I'm going to say at this point. But I'm thinking about my kids listening to some of these terms. They're going to just take it for granted of what it means, right?
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes not even think. So I'm trying to think of some of the older terms I've got on the list. There are some that, I wasn't familiar with the old thing. Mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Was a thing where I guess when you were like making, I'm thinking of like a newspaper print, they were actually taking tiles and putting them on, right?
And the P and the Q would have looked the same.
Looked the same. So.
I'd heard that was pints and quarts. And I don't know what that meant exactly, but it was some sort of a reference to measurements or make sure it's correct. I have no idea if that's true. That's just I always thought pints and P's and Q's meant pints and quarts.
And I wonder if that's similar to like a backronym where someone comes up with something after the fact. Try to explain it.
Retcon.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure. I mean, the P's and Q's make sense. Of course, AI is what taught me. So.
Well, and I guess if we're going to stick with letters, how about dot the I's and cross the T's, right? When you're talking about being thorough,
nobody
doing
prints anymore.
Yeah, because that'd be a cursive thing.
Though I will say, I think it's making a comeback. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but a lot of classrooms now are going back to handwritten assignments because kids are using AI and cheating so much. It's the only way to guarantee that they're coming up with their own original thoughts is to have them do it in person on paper.
Yeah, while you watch them there, that makes sense. Yeah, I at my work we had a kid, younger guy, probably 20. Write just sort of we do a little thing and you have to write a few things down. He was writing like his availability at work or something. He had, just a small short paragraph and it was the most, as a guy who has terrible handwriting, this was the worst I've ever seen on a human being. So I encourage that. That's a good idea. We should be writing things because this kid's, it was laughably. I wanted to keep it just to show people, to make fun of him, but I didn't think that would be fair.
We put a copy of it. He'll get a screenshot of it.
We'll put a link on the website, and you can go to it.
I've heard it said, and this is an expression I really love. They say the dullest pencil remembers more than the sharpest mind, and it's kind of a cute way of saying take notes. But one thing that is interesting to me is that they found if you type notes, it's not as effective at actually solidifying that memory.
I can see that.
And so to physically write it, you're engaging a process in your brain where you're helping to learn kinesthetically.
I wonder if that also works with like an iPad with like a pen.
I don't know. I've never used an iPad to take notes like that.
Right.
I'm about to because I'm getting an iPad with a pencil,
right.
and I'm wanting to use that to like take notes
Yeah.
in meetings and things. But there's always been a little bit of a disconnect because there's that layer, that touch screen between the LCD screen, the capacitive touch thing. I forget what it's called, digitizer.
Yeah.
And that little gap.
Yeah.
Just messes with my brain.
Is there a bit of a lag too, or no?
I think that's gone now.
They've ironed that one out pretty well. It's just the multi-point touching it and accidentally activating a pencil feed. There's just a lot of things that the early iterations didn't do well, and I'm sure they've ironed it out because we're on the iPhone 17. So at this point, they've had 20 years to work on the technology. But I haven't updated my perception, so I'm hoping to kind of catch back up.
I heard ironed it out. That's probably just as simple as just ironing out a wrinkle.
Yeah,
maybe.
which I don't know if that's vestigial because I still iron things.
Yeah.
Not as often as I should, clearly, but
I purposely buy stuff I don't have to iron.
Yeah, glad you have got a dryer. I don't need an iron if I have a dryer.
I've got a few here, and I might just kind of cheat and let ChatGPT do some heavy lifting for me. But dial a number.
Yep.
So we talked about some phone stuff. Dialing, of course, is the rotary dial on an old telephone, which some of our listeners may not even be aware of. Hanging up a phone, this is another generational difference. If you ask a very young person to do a hand motion for hanging up the phone, they'll do this. They tap their palm. And if you talk to somebody that's born, in the 80s, 70s, or before, there's a physical separate receiver, and they may put it on the table, or if they're really old, they might even hang it on the wall.
Slam it on the wall.
My kids were at a restaurant, and they had like an antique phone with the dial and the earpiece and all that, and they were just fascinated with it. I mean, they were like,
Yes.
"Ooh, wow, what is this?"
Is this how you did it before color, Dad?
Where are the favorites?
I moved into my grandparents' house when they were no longer able to live in their house. And in the process, cleaning out basements and closets and things, I think I had 7 rotary phones that I threw away because my grandfather, for some reason, I guess, was waiting for that technology to come back.
At some point, the phone companies, I think, provided the phones. And so he may be collecting them as he's signing up for new service.
He certainly never threw anything away. I think the phones that they brought over on the Mayflower were the same phones that I threw away from his basement.
Yeah, I am familiar with hearing about Christopher Columbus when he first landed. Somebody from Spectrum was asking him to sign up for service.
Constantly bothering him at his door. Yeah, I'm sure.
We're taking a shot.
Take a shot.
I got my Coke Zero.
I'm looking at you to see if you produce a bottle of bourbon.
You know what?
I
didn't bring. Well, but I don't know what the university's policy on smoking crack in their building is. But I've actually got some here.
Oh well, I'm not familiar with the policy, but
maybe we could find out
based on some of the top-down decisions. I don't know that it's highly discouraged.
Okay, that's probably a gray area, I would guess. No bourbon today, though. No. You can't be derivative. You got to do something different.
That's true.
That's right.
And I also work today.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Good reasons abound.
What about ringing off the hook before we leave phones? Right?
Yeah.
That's a fun one. Where I remember there was a commercial, pretty popular on local radio stations. That was, the phone is literally ringing off the hook.
And that's another one for you.
It's not literal.
Well, I mean, it's that would just really hurt my brain, because not only are you using a term that is antiquated because you don't hang the phone on a hook anymore, but also we're not using the word literal right at all.
It's literally not falling off anything.
Eric was hospitalized from a head explosion.
That one really got me. Hey.
Or just ringing in general.
Yeah.
Because how often does your phone make noise at all in 2025?
Yeah. or it's these days it buzzes or chimes or
I
does
feel
nothing.
like it's very gauche. You and everybody in the room here, we're all a part of that generation that was paying $1.99 to have a 15-second sliver of a song as a ringtone, and we were super like jazzed. Like, oh, did you hear that? That's that's my Linkin Park ringtone. This music I like. I'm sharing it with the world.
To listen to my Air Supply ringtone every time.
There you go.
I have Jambi, a Tool song as my ring. It's been my ringtone for probably the song came out in 2006.
You can tell I'm not a Tool fan because you say Jambi, and immediately I'm thinking Jambi, like from Pee Wee Herman.
I think that's the namesake.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, Tool famously they're comedians, really. There are so many inside jokes and all their stuff. But yeah, I think it was a Pee Wee Herman nod.
It sort of tracks. Pee Wee Herman was a really strange dude.
Yeah.
If you looked at a parent today and you said, okay, I'm going to have this grown man in this gray tuxedo making all sorts of weird faces and having kids in his playhouse.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the 80s were a weird time.
Just, free range parenting gone too far.
I never missed a single episode. It's one of my favorites.
I go back and I watch it now, and it's like I've never done drugs.
Yeah.
But I imagine that's what it's like.
This has got to be some sort of drug-fueled dream or something.
Remember the Alamo? Did you watch the movie? Wasn't there a...
Yes.
Yeah.
And he gets real serious.
He does. But I think the biggest part I remember about it is he was trying to find someone, and someone like looked out the window and it said Alamo. He's like... It's in the basement of the Alamo.
Yeah, he visited a psychic.
And
she just made something up.
And he went all the way to Texas to go
to the basement of the Alamo,
which it didn't have. Right? Anyway, that's all I remember.
All right. So Roll Down the Window.
Yeah,
this is one you talked about a little bit on our walk over.
Yeah.
Well, not the walk over, earlier this morning on a walk.
This one has kind of kicked off the idea to me is, ask my kids, hey, can you wind down that window? They know what it means, but if you think about it, it's, we're not doing that winding process anymore.
I drive a 2001 Toyota Tacoma, so I roll down the window every single day.
And you're actually still doing it.
Still doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just how
I
you
rolled
roll.
down the window earlier today.
That's how you roll.
Turn the channel. So again, we're going with dials.
Yeah,
and
don't
gears.
change that dial, that sort of thing. You hear that? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We're dialing it in.
Yeah, yeah.
Stay tuned.
On your radio dial.
Yeah, tuners in general, because how often are you actually moving a tuner?
Yeah.
Well, a UK reference, WRFL, their thing is all the way to the left because it's all the way at the left of the dial. But I bet
Now it just means politics.
Now people think it means
like we're ultra progressive.
Yeah,
we don't
right.
actually have a pun.
I thought there was some political leaning toward it too. Is it?
Oh yeah, it was the double.
It
double
probably
meaning.
was probably the old double entendre,
Yeah.
but it also happened to be all the way at the left hand end of the dial. I think it was the first available frequency.
Yeah.
Yep.
88.1.
Yeah.
That whopping 5-mile radius of broadcast that they had back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't that.
Wasn't powerful.
Yeah.
Not very powerful, but I don't know. I still listen to RFL. I love it.
I wish I listened to it more. I
Yeah.
used to, for a brief season of life. I didn't have an official host position, but I would jump on and co-host with a buddy of mine.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And he did a all metal hour.
Yeah.
And so I was like the token Christian kid to his like, ugh, Satan. And we had this guy. He would call the station. So collect call for the younger.
Oh, there you go.
viewers.
That's a
Dial
perfect one.
1-800-collect, and then the toll that the phone company used to charge back when you could charge for a phone call. It's getting really old now.
Yeah.
Hang an onion from your belt and dance to Charleston. But they would charge the station a nominal fee to receive a phone call from Blackburn Penitentiary.
Uh-huh.
And Victor, no last name given, would always request Slayer, Rain and Blood.
Sure.
And he wanted the live version. He was very specific, Rain and Blood live. And so we made it a staple of our show. Every time we did the show, we were like, all right, Victor, we're going to go ahead and play Rain and Blood live for you. Please use your phone call to call your mother.
Yes. Don't call us. It's fine.
Yeah,
We'll play your song.
We got your back. And just know, when you get out, we're cool, okay? So
I love that.
Collect Call Rabbit Vortex. There was a commercial. I don't even remember what it's for, and this is a symptom I see of commercials where you'll remember the commercial, but you don't remember the product, and it's like how is this helping them? But the punchline to commercial was
Bob, we ought to be pizza boy.
Yes, they asked for his name, making a collect call.
Yeah.
And instead of giving his last name, he basically said, "We had a baby. It's a boy."
I do have a vague recollection of that. Yeah.
And, I mean, the dad in it is just classic. It's, is hello? Okay.
Click.
Who was that?
It was Bob.
It was Bob.
What do you want? They had a baby. Oh, that's nice.
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
So they didn't pay for the call. They sent the
Message
information.
communicated.
That's how you can transmit messages for free, maybe even from prison.
Apparently, a lot of kids used to do this. They would just be like, "Mom, pick me up," and because it would play the recording of who
Just
it was
the-
from,
yeah, the
that's
snippet.
all they needed.
Gotcha.
I think I've done that before. It also makes me think of the return address on an envelope. If you're mailing something, if you want it to get somewhere, why not just put the address you want it to go to in the return, and then
No
just
stamp.
put a fake address and no
I
stamp.
that's
In
a
high
felony.
school, I had friends that did that just
Yeah.
to sort of test and see if
Yeah.
it worked, and it worked. Probably you're not allowed to do that, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
I don't think that's legal. One thing that is legal, and here's just the life pro tip, hiding way down in the middle of the podcast. If you get a lot of junk mail and they send you a postage prepaid envelope, you can take all the junk mail that they've sent you, shred it into tiny pieces, stick it in that envelope, pop it in the mail, and then they will pay to have their own junk mail mailed back to them in a fashion that's difficult to clean up.
Interesting.
It's
I do
very
like that.
satisfying.
Yeah, I like that.
So there you go. How about carbon copy?
Oh, that's on my list.
So when you send an email, there's a carbon copy like checks used to be, or just a
Yeah.
Just anything you had to make in duplicate or triplicate, they would have the that one. I'm sure people just view it as CC or BCC,
and they have no idea why.
No idea. Yeah, the
Oh, is that what CC on email means?
Carbon
Oh, wow.
copy, yep.
I send like 4 emails a year, maybe
really?
that many.
And
Yeah,
you may have been CC'd on one.
I'm sure I have. I don't look
now
at it.
you
ever.
know it's just carbon paper.
Huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. I had no idea.
I've thought for a while that
This is an educational podcast.
That's what we do here. This is actually on the list, but it's not enough to make it its own thing. But there needs to be some kind of a flag that if you are BCC'd on something, and then you try to reply all.
It doesn't let you do that.
So you all are speaking a foreign language right now. BCC.
Blind carbon copy.
I don't know the difference between reply and reply all. I don't know any of it.
and a lot of people don't.
Okay.
The subject line was where you write your message, right? There's the whole email thing, but yeah.
Yeah, you're getting into my soapbox territory there.
Well,
I had the shotgun. Kids calling shotgun in the car. Because that's sort of an old sort of, whatever from back when there were stagecoaches or something. But like we did that as a kid for sure. Do today's youth, do the youth do that? Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still a thing.
yeah, Vivian very often calls for shotgun.
Okay.
Or now they'll say shoddy. So they've shortened it.
I haven't
Sure.
heard that one.
Okay. I like that. Sure. Why not?
Huh.
So, yeah, we're getting really old, you guys. We've talked about recording already, recording an album. I don't think we've touched albums, though. We talked about film. We've talked about photos,
albums. I
but-
think specific. At least I have, and maybe I hang out with a lot of musicians. I'm friends with a lot of musicians, so we've always talked about going to the record store, buying the new album, that sort of thing.
or even album cover.
Yeah.
Album art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for a while, maybe that was everybody. I think knew what you meant, but it was maybe an unused. But now these days, like everybody's got a record player anymore, and
So it's kind of made a comeback.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that kind of went away and then is coming back and more is used
Vinyl
more
is outperforming CDs in terms of sales.
for the last several years now.
Which I'm all for because
Yeah.
honestly, owning physical media is another soapbox that I could go on. And I think we have when we've touched on gaming and things like that. But if you don't have a physical copy that's detached from somebody's computer, then you don't own anything.
Yeah.
Because they can turn it off at any point in time.
Sure.
And there's been countless examples of companies like Sony who have cut off rights for streaming. People who bought, for a time, you remember Redbox?
Yeah.
So Redbox, you could buy a DVD, but Redbox also had a catalog of digital things that you could purchase. But as soon as they went out of business, all their servers got shut down. And if you bought movies from Redbox, gone, because the company's gone.
I had Redbox was refresh my memory. They were like outside grocery stores or something.
McDonald's, Walgreens, grocery stores. Yes,
and you could rent the DVD from them and take it home, and then you brought it back at some point.
Yeah,
I thought that was a cool idea, and I used it. And I want to say it was by whatever grocery store I used to use, and I put not a lot of money, but $50, let's say, and because you could keep an account.
Yeah.
And then one day I went and it was gone. And I'd rented maybe 3 or 4 movies from it, and that was it.
Yeah.
So they owe me at least, I'm going to say $35.
Oh yeah. And it's one of those things where if you have your vinyl copy 75 years from now, you can, dust it off, give it to the grandkids.
Yeah.
It's something that you own.
But I mean, storing that media and playing it and making playlists and all that stuff is not feasible with physical media. And I don't feel like there's ever a need to go back to the physical media, especially a vinyl.
I think it depends. I would put this in the same category as eating, right? There are times where you want fast food, and there are times where you want to sit down and have a nice meal.
Sure.
And so if a band releases an album that I really enjoy, or I just like the band a lot, I'm gonna buy the CD, or I haven't started collecting vinyl yet. Maybe I'm a few years from. I'm just now getting into cast iron. I'm in that phase of my life.
Sure.
Yep.
As one does. Yes.
Watch the iron content. By the way.
Well, I need it. I'm
anemic?
borderline anemic, so for me that's a good thing. But I want to own it. But if it's just garbage that I'm streaming, if I'm doing a lot of Excel spreadsheets,
You stream
take a
garbage?
shot. Actually, I do like the band Garbage.
I do too.
Quite a bit. But like Nickelback or whatever, stuff that guilty pleasure almost, because you don't want to admit you like some of these bands. I said Linkin Park earlier, but I maybe should have been ashamed when I said it.
That's fair. I mean, the last album I bought CD was Tool, and it was the 2019 Fear Inoculum, which has it's got a little like video player in it and audio, and it was an experience to buy.
Yeah, and when I'm like ushering my kids into some of the things that I enjoy, I'm not going to look at them with pride and hand them my Chumbawamba CD.
Yeah,
right.
But I would never let them have that. That's mine. Nobody listens to that but me.
But if I give them Foo Fighters, if I give them something I really enjoy, that's going to be a moment.
Yeah,
it's passing the torch to the next generation.
I've gotten to the point, and I used to be. I mean, for years, if a CD came out, I bought it. I always bought the CD. I mean, even well into the streaming age. And over the last, I'm going to say 5-6 years, I don't ever buy a CD. I mean, the last one I bought might have been that Tool CD. I buy CDs from like when Metallica puts out an album, when Tool puts out an album, and maybe like Slipknot, and that's it.
I only exclusively pirate Metallica just on principle.
Sure. You know what? I'm fine. I can live with that.
So what I do, I haven't bought a new album in a while now, but what I generally do is, and maybe this segues us to Amazon. I go on Amazon and I buy the MP3s. I download the MP3s to a physical NAS drive or whatever, and so you say physical. I have copies of the MP3s, so I can stream them through Plex or through my own server if I need to. But then I listen to it on Amazon Music.
Because it's convenient.
And it's convenient, and it's in my library now.
I can make peace with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we talked about Amazon. We had just pre-gamed for just a brief moment before we
started. Just a little preparation.
Pre-gamed with no bourbon.
Yeah.
No. By the way, if we had been taking shots, we would be half lit by now.
Yeah.
Being
this crack is helping, though.
I was gonna say. I'm great. Got so much energy. You had an Amazon thing you wanted to talk about. Let's do pivot here.
I don't use Amazon a ton, and I know there are people that just exclusively use it for everything, and that's great. And so the Amazon Prime, they always, when I buy something, why don't you try Amazon Prime?
Get that Prime shipping.
Yeah, get that Prime shipping, and that's fine, I guess. And maybe, if there were ever anything that I just needed to have for some reason, but that's such a rare occurrence. So, but I've kind of discovered And again, I don't have a ton of examples, but the last 3 or 4 or 5 times that I've ordered, I get my mom this silly calendar every year. It's kind of a gift. And I needed like a new pepper grinder, and I knew there were some little things that I needed. So I got a bunch of stuff. And then if you don't have Prime, first of all, it asks you if you want Prime. And I'm always like, no, thank you. And then you go to checkout and it says, here's your total. And it gives you the total with a shipping amount because you don't have Prime. But then you scroll down and it has options. It can say, you don't have Prime, so here's what we're going to charge you for shipping. Or if you need it tomorrow, there's like, an extra charge for shipping. Or if you want free shipping, just click here, but it'll get there, Thursday rather than Monday. So.
And actually, that's been my experience as a Prime subscriber.
Yeah.
I purchase Prime. I pay for the free Prime shipping. And then depending upon the seller, take another shot.
Yeah. I am housed right now.
I just want you guys to know how much I love you. No. Depending upon the seller, you may not even get it anyway. So the promise, the reason that you pay them $150 a year, whatever it costs for Prime, is that it's 2-day shipping, free shipping. But that's not ubiquitous.
Yeah.
It might be, okay, well, I want to buy this. I'm really big into supplements right now, creatine and just vitamins and things like that. Trying to get healthy, get fit.
Sure.
But some sellers, you buy the thing and they say, well, it's going to be here in 8 days. And if you want it in 2 days, you're still going to have to pay the $6 shipping.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
What am I paying Amazon for? I can tell you it's not their streaming content because that is garbage.
See,
again,
I've listened to you guys. And I am a Prime guy. And
well, sell me on it here. Take the counterpoint. Pull them out of the show.
Yeah. Just to wrap up what I was saying, the 3 dumb things that I bought, were I clicked no. It can come Thursday. I don't care. I can wait 3 days for a pepper grinder, and it just came here in 2 days anyway. And that's happened so many times.
Yeah. Their
so like
shipping presence, at least in Lexington, where they've got a hub, is phenomenal.
And that might make a difference. And if you were in a rural area somewhere, it might be different. But like most of the time recently that I have ordered anything, I have clicked the no shipping, and it just gets there in a couple days anyway.
If you go down to the Shell station off of Newtown Pike and you turn in to get gas and then you turn to leave, you have to wait for a courteous Amazon driver to let you out because it's a constant stream of Amazon trucks.
Yeah, I actually have had that experience before. Yeah,
and they're all going to my house. We'll do Amazon shipping. I'll order something in the morning, and sometimes it'll be there in the afternoon.
And if that were like a thing every time, that would be cool.
If it was consistent.
It's pretty good. I've gotten to the point too, and Amazon, clever. They've got it now. If you don't need something, if you're not in a hurry for it, you could say, do the low carbon option.
They know who they're marketing to because they don't give me that option. Right. I don't care about my carbon footprint, but they will say we'll give you $1 for free streaming credit for a movie or something.
See, and I'll collect those up and use those to rent, like Fantastic Four or something that I want to watch and it's not really ready streaming. But all right, I will tell you guys, hands down, The Boys on Amazon Prime is worth
the cost.
It's worth the yearly fee. I love that show, and it's a real interesting commentary on what superheroes would be like in real life.
I'm exclusively judging Prime based on the bastardization of the Lord of the Rings prequels.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
They made the main character Mary Sue. She's powerful. She's strong. No reason, no character development. She's brash and cold and masculine in all ways, except for the fact that she's a woman. I hate it. Okay. It doesn't have a Tolkien feel. It's the Tolkien world wrapped around a modern misunderstanding of how to tell a story.
I guess I don't really watch that much streaming. I find the act of watching streaming just the most tedious, horrible thing. I hate. It takes me 30 minutes to figure out what I want to watch, and then I'm just going to watch this because I don't care anymore. And it's something I don't want to watch anyway. I find it to be the most horrible process. And maybe that's just me being an old fart. Maybe.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, if you stick to just one streaming platform, you can spend 20 minutes searching for. You're like, that's too long, or I've already seen that,
or if you just want to watch something, what service do I choose?
Yeah,
I'm going through the Back to the Future movies with my kids right now. And they're loving it, which I love.
That's cool.
when we first wanted to watch one of those movies,
I did.
you spend 10 minutes trying to figure out what service is it on? How do I get this thing on my TV?
I have seen, and I think it's on the IMDb website, it'll tell you where it streams and how to find it.
Oh.
The only reason I know that is because we were, this will date me for sure. I was telling my girlfriend, she's a couple of years younger than I am, about the old Men at Work movie with Charlie Sheen from the 80s. It's like, oh man, I used to love that movie. We should watch that. And I'm like, God, what is that on? You know, and then of course we did find it on something, of course, that we didn't have.
Pluto TV or something.
Yeah, where there were 11 streaming services, and we've got 9 of them, but the one Men at Work was on was the one we didn't have. So
IMDb, speaking of which,
Yep.
What do you see there?
Oh, look at you.
The SoapBox Lex now on IMDb.
You've got credits. Wow.
We're official.
We made it. We're
I
big
guess
stuff.
so. Yeah.
So I might wrap here by saying when you're using Amazon, you're using shipping. And what a great antiquated term to close this out, right? Because what are you doing when you're shipping it?
Sure.
Is it likely that it was on a ship?
I would say it's very unlikely.
There you go.
Well, and don't the kids use the term ship? Like, do you ship? It's like a dating thing, or no? Okay, maybe you. Yeah.
I don't have kids.
Not that cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still saying skibbity, and they're like, that was so early 2025.
6, 7, man.
I'm told that one's already.
That's already out too. Because guys like me looking at their kids like 6, 7. I'm like, oh, does it look like that when I do it too? I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So, all
Okay.
right.
Well, we'll ship it.
Ship it. We've got a brand new website. What is that site?
That is SoapBoxLex.com.
So you can check us out on the web. You can also check us out on your favorite streaming platforms, including...
We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, and we're on Amazon. And of course...
If you want to check us out and actually see what you're listening to, we do have video as well on YouTube. And I don't know if you knew this, but Spotify does video too.